Let's talk about eyeliner, specifically eyeliner over 40, because what once used to be a really quick flick that we used to do now takes about 15-20 minutes. I think I've probably spent half an hour before. That's my embarrassing moment right there. Like, I honestly feel like it changes so much as we get older. It ends up becoming more of a mini crisis by the end of it, more than anything. The techniques that used to work don't work anymore, and you need to change up your makeup game. You need to change up the way that you apply your makeup, because you have to adapt with it. Because if you don't adapt with the changes that are coming with your skin as we age, then you're going to be in a rut for quite a while, because nothing's going to work. So I'm going to show you today exactly how you can wear eyeliner over 40 and deal with all the things that come with it. And I'm going to explain to you why it becomes harder too. It doesn't mean that you can't do eyeliner anymore. You 100% can. But what worked when we were in our 20s isn't going to work now. So let's talk about why eyeliner does become tricky. First up is skin laxity, which means the skin around the eyes becomes thinner and less elastic. And what that actually means is more movement, which also means less precision. So there's a lot more movement around the eye area. Things are drooping. It looks like the volume has obviously gone. So it's a lot harder to tackle. Drooping corners is another issue. Now, this is where the skin around the outer corner of your eye starts to drop, and that ends up bringing your eye down slightly. And what that does in turn is drag the eyeliner, when you apply it, it drags down rather than that nice upward lift. And especially if you try applying your wing in the same way you've always applied it, and now all of a sudden you've got drooping, it's definitely going to look really bad. Another issue is texture and fine lines. Now, there's a couple of things that can happen with your makeup with this, because in your fine lines, your makeup can either completely skip that fine line, which is not a good thing, or it can settle into that fine line, which is not a good thing. So let me explain that for you. When it skips it, it means it's gone over it. So maybe it's quite a deep wrinkle you have, and when you've applied it, you've gone over it. But because there's a fold, it's not gone in the fold, right? So then basically when you make certain kind of facial movements, you can see that there's actually no foundation or concealer in there, and it's or whatever you're applying, or even eyeliner, and it can look really obvious. Or if it settles in there, it's kind of bunched up, you know, there's a whole load of product in there, it's just sitting in there. It's like a little well, and that can look really obvious and really bad. And that ends up, because that's all creamy and everything else is kind of matte, and it just all goes wrong. Another thing that happens is change in eye shape. And this again, in turn, is down to the loss of elasticity and all sorts of things that are happening. And generally features changing as we get older. As you get older, your eye shape changes. And what comes with that is your eye becomes either more hooded or more heavy lidded. That becomes an issue because you're dealing with a completely different eye shape now. So once you used to apply eyeliner and you open your eyes and everything's fine, but now it could be the case that you apply eyeliner and then you open your eye and it disappears. But here's the thing, I have done eyeliner on hundreds of women who are over 40. So eyeliner can still work. It's just all about the method. If you feel that you get anything from my videos, please do hit that like button, hit subscribe, and hit the bell, because those 3 things don't cost you a thing, but they help my channel out so much, and I would really truly appreciate it. Let's talk about tools and formulas that actually work for you if you are over 40. There are so many different types of products you can use for your eyeliner. You have pencil and liquid, and generally I would say pencil is going to give you a little bit more control than liquid. Liquid can be a little bit messy if you're not used to it, especially if you are dealing with changes in your skin, elasticity, and just the eye shape as you're getting older. With pencils, you can smudge, you can kind of like just kind of almost disguise the imperfection a little bit with pencils, which is why I love pencils so much. Then you've got gel eyeliners. Gel eyeliners do give you a bit more control than liquid eyeliner because it's a little bit more of a thicker substance. It's more of this kind of like, well, gel. It gives you a little bit more lasting power. I don't feel like that flakes as much as what a liquid liner could flake. And I feel like you get a lot of fluidity and kind of like glide with gel liner. Gel liner? What happened there? Oh my god, my words are just not coming out. But you get a lot of kind of like buttery glide with gel eyeliner. I would say avoid felt tip eyeliners, because if you are going into your 40s or you're already there or way above it, then it's something that can it just doesn't help at all. It really tugs on textured skin. So if you're dealing with like skin which doesn't have much elasticity, a felt liner is not gonna work for you. It's gonna really tug at the skin. It's not gonna glide. It's gonna make everything 10 times harder for you to do. So stay away from felt tip eyeliners. You're going to be using tight lining techniques. So this is where you're using like a pencil to kind of press into in between your lashes, the root of the lash, and that gives you the illusion of eyeliner without it looking so heavy and cakey. Because maybe you still want the effect of an eyeliner as you're getting older, but you don't necessarily want it to look like a thick line. Do you see what I mean? But you still want that, like that depth, that definition that it gives you. And tight lining is perfect for that. It's also great if you have hooded eyes or you have smaller eyes than that you're working on, because this way, because you're working on the root of the lash, you can still see it when you open the eye. It doesn't get hidden because it's not about anything becoming hidden. It's about actually enhancing what you have. Okay, so I'm actually going to show you the wrong way to do it and the right way. So on one eye, which is what I'm going to work on first, we're going to do this step by step. I'm going to be prepping the eyes first. So what that means is explaining to you exactly how you should be priming and prepping your eyes before you actually apply eyeliner, because all of these steps help. It isn't just about the eyeliner application. It's about everything underneath to ensure that it stays put, and it makes the whole application process easier for you. So let's talk about step one, which is prepping the eyelid. Now I've got nothing on my eyelids, no mascara, no color. The redness is actually just my own skin redness. You're always going to apply an eye cream. So I'm using the MAC Hyper Real Serumizer eye cream, and I am going to apply this to the correct side, which is here. Obviously you would apply it on this bit too, but I have makeup on there. So I'm just patting it in, getting a really nice hydrating eye. Now on this side, I'm not going to apply any eye cream. That's a mistake in itself. Applying a lightweight eye cream is actually going to help for everything to kind of just glide a little bit better and not feel so dry. The dryness here is going to end up enhancing the texture. By the way, if I haven't already mentioned, I am in my mid-40s. I do have changes around my eye area. My eyes were a lot more tighter and lifted, and I definitely have a kind of, if you can see all this, all this. Normal lines, right? So I don't want anyone looking at me saying, oh yeah, you don't have it. I do, look, when you smile. I have the lines, look at the droopiness there. This is dropping way more than before. Like, it used to be like, just used to be nice and lifted, and it's not anymore. So, you know, I do rely on Botox a few times a year. This is actually at the end, like I'm due it right now. And as you can see, everything is drooping. So this is why this is a good eye for me to, you know, work on for you. Okay, so now step two is we're going to apply our concealer to the eyelid to get a really nice even base. I'm going to use my Too Faced Born This Way multitasking concealer in Sand. I'm going to apply this in the wrong way first, and this is going right over my skin where there's no eye cream, so there you go. I'm also going to put a little bit on the back of my hand there. I'm going to get a concealer brush. This is my Hourglass one. And I'm just going to, there you go. Smooth that with that. Now on the right side, I'm going to get my beauty blender. I've got a little bit of concealer on the back of my hand. I've buffed this into it properly. I'm then going to get this sponge, get a nice even layer. Really nice light layer, not a lot. There's a lot more here, and it's very kind of, it's not even because I used a brush. I would not recommend using a brush on the eyes to apply your concealer. Now we're going to set it. I'm going to use my Real Techniques setting brush and my Huda Beauty Easy Bake. I'm going to press. This is setting this. Now I'm not going to set the other side because that's a mistake in itself. There you go, that's nicely set. A big mistake here is the fact that we have not applied any powder, and what's going to happen then is when we actually apply, firstly you're going to get creases on the eyelid. Secondly, when we apply our eyeliner, it's going to be too fluid. There's nothing matte for it to sit onto, for it to just grip hold of. This is going to slide all over the place, and it's going to make it harder for our application. Okay, so on the side that is wrong, I'm going to be using my It Cosmetics Superhero Eyeliner. Great eyeliner pen, but I do want to show you exactly how messy it can really get. So I'm going to apply this just as I know most people do apply it, and it can end up getting really messy. Like, another issue with eyeliner pens is that so much product comes out. It's really hard for you to focus on what you're doing because you're more concerned about the amount of product that's coming out. And as you can see, I just blinked there. Happens to me too. I'm not stretching the eye at all. Okay. Now we're going to go down and you're following the natural what do you call it? Eye shape. I'm following the natural eye shape and see where I've applied it. Okay, yes, eyeliner does look nice, but that isn't lifting. It isn't making me look more youthful. It's thicker than realistically I would want it. Okay, this whole downward style is not working for me. Now, we are going to use my Dual Show Stylo waterproof creamy eyeliner pen in matte black. Now, even though this says pen, it's actually not a pen, it's a pencil. It's a really nice sharp pencil at the end and it works so well for tight lining. Now we're going to tight line. This is where you are not going to work above the lash line, you're going to work beneath and you're focusing on getting right into the root of the lash. And I'm not talking about just lining your waterline. That's not what I'm talking about. If you line your waterline, that's not tight lining. Let me explain this to you. Your waterline is this area here, right? And it's the strip of skin you have below your lash on the top lash line and above your lash on the lower lash line. That strip of skin is your waterline. What I want you to do is focus on going in right into the root of the lash, but you're actually using the tool from the underside, right? So we are focusing, you're gonna go little movements like this. See, tiny little movements. You're not dragging, you're just kind of like stamping if you want to. You can stamp or you can do tiny little side-to-side movements, very tiny, almost like jiggling it into the root. And doing this and you keep moving along. You can get a mirror to look close up if you want, you know, just to make sure you're not missing any sections out. And this is amazing for hooded eyes. Go all the way in. Can you see how we have defined our natural lash line without applying any eyeliner? So this is the first thing that you could do, a very simple eyeliner look, which is just tight lining. Now, if you want to add a flick to this, what you do is you go to the end of the lash line and then you focus on going a little bit higher than that. So you go a little bit higher, not so, and I don't mean higher that way, I mean a little bit further in. So don't go all the way to the end of your lash line. Finish just a couple of millimeters before the end, do a little dot there above, not below. And then you're going to get a brush or a Q-tip. This is my Sigma E75 brush, nothing on here. And I'm going to drag that little dot upwards and outwards. See that? It's a tiny little flick we've done there, and it's so subtle. See that? And the trick that we did there is we didn't go to the end of the lash line, we went a little bit higher, right? Now, this type of look doesn't require any stretching of the skin because you're working on the tight line. Maybe the flick will need a little bit of stretching, and if it does, you'd still do the dot where I said to do it, right? But then what you do is you use either your fingers, or you could, if you need extra help, or you lift with your brows, and then you take it upwards towards the temples. It's more going out that way than a flick, if you see what I mean. So this gives you a really nice lift like that, super natural eyeliner look. Now, what about when you want a slightly thicker finish? I would always recommend a pencil just because I feel like you can create a really nice soft finish, and generally on more aging skin, I do feel like a softer blurred finish is much more flattering for aging skin rather than a harsh eyeliner look. So let's thicken this up now so you can see. So this is where we're now going to go above the lash, and we're going to do the same thing. Go into the lash, just do little tiny back and forth, little, same thing we did, into the lash, and you'll see it's actually a different look you get now because now you're going above the lash So now it's just like a little bit thicker. See, that's become a little bit thicker. So now we've got a nice thickness there all the way across. See how easy that was to do because we're working on the root of the lash. So now this is a little bit more of a thicker look, but now we do want a little bit more of a prominent flick. So this is where you're going to do the same thing. We're not going all the way into to the end of the lash line. We're stopping a little bit beforehand. And we're not doing a full-on flick. But what we are going to do is grab this and we're going to drag upwards and outwards. We're just kind of dragging it out that way towards the temple as opposed to kind of like a full-on flick. And use your finger just for that end bit. Now if you feel like you want to make that flick a little bit more prominent, now that you've got an outline there, you can just do a little dot on the end of, not the end of the flick, but just where you want it more prominent. Same thing as we have been doing. You're doing a little dot, then you're using your brush to just drag a little bit. Use your finger to help the fading of the end of the flick. See how we've now got that kind of really nice natural flick and it's going up, so it's actually lifting the eye area. Now another thing you can do is you can get a brush or a Q-tip and you can basically, so say if this was a Q-tip, you can literally smudge the lash line for it to look like it's a bit more kind of like just softer, so it's not so harsh. And this is what I really wanted to show you, that pencil eyeliner can actually look so much better than liquid. Like it ends up just complementing your skin better, your eye shape, everything looks better. This is so, and firstly, can I also add, with a liquid pen, look how shiny it looks. It looks really kind of like, ugh. Whereas I feel like this side, it's matte and it's really just not standing out as much. If I haven't already mentioned, I do have a newsletter called the Beauty Breakfast Club, which I'd love to see you over on, because it's basically this beauty community that we're growing and it's growing rapidly. You want to be one of the first to be part of that because there's so much new stuff coming. You've got newsletters every other day. There is so much for you to catch up on, guys, so head on over soon and subscribe to that. You'll get it directly to your inbox, or you can check the site. It's like an online magazine and there's everything. Hacks, not ticks, tricks, and lots of stuff that you can kind of learn about makeup and beauty in general. Very educational, and also it's free, which gives you access to some of the site, but the paid version gives you access to the entire site and also a chat room where we're all talking and sharing kind of like tips and tricks. So yeah, would love to see you over there. The paid version, by the way, is literally the same as getting 1 coffee a month. That's it. Now, obviously, if you want to make this thicker, you can carry on doing exactly what I was doing and building over it. But we want to talk about the lower lash line now. Lower lash line, applying a thick liner look is going to drag your eye down and make you look even more aged. Instead, you want to use a brush, something like an angled brush or even like a small kind of dome brush. And you basically want to go into like a deep kind of eyeshadow and then give yourself this soft finish. So let me show you. This is my Makeup by Mario Master Mattes The Neutrals palette. I'm going to use 10, which is a deep brown, and I'm going to show you why this is wrong. So adding it here, especially all the way across, can really age the eye and make it look a lot older. Yeah, it's not really doing anything for me. So, or you can get a kind of like pencil brush like this, which is the BK Beauty 207 brush. Go into a lighter shade. Let's go into 8, which is a lot lighter. And then go into the lower lashes. Go into the root, and that's it, not a lot. Next up, curling your lashes makes a whole difference to your mascara. These are like the finishing touches to your overall eye look. Do not skip this step. Instantly makes your eyes look a lot more open. So over here, we're not going to curl the lashes. Over here, we are going to use my Hourglass Unlocked mascara. We're going to just focus on applying it to this side. But I'm actually not taking it from the root. This is another mistake. There you go. Now, let's go from the root And this is nicely curled, this side. And we're just going to add a little bit at the bottom, not a lot. This, I'm applying it too close to the lower lash line. Look at the difference, huge difference here. So let's talk about a couple of mistakes that you want to avoid. Don't pull the skin when you're applying it, because when you let go, the eyeliner will warp. The problem with pulling your skin, you may be getting into all those like little creases and everything, but the minute you let go, your eyeliner is going to look completely different. Always apply your eyeliner how you would look normally at a person. So always look straight ahead into the mirror and apply it that way so that you can see straight on how someone is going to actually see that eyeliner look. If you go like that, and then you apply it and you're like, oh, that looks nice, and then you let go and it just springs back, then obviously it's not going to look the same, right? So you've got to apply it how your face is usually looking. You're not going to walk around like that, right? You're not going to walk around with your skin stretched with your finger there. Like, just apply it as you normally are. Whether your skin is droopy, anything, you've got to apply it as it is. Once you've applied it like that, that's when, if you feel like you've got some lines in between, you want to then stretch and apply the line, but also make it very small so that it's not completely empty, but it's not distorting the eyeliner look. When you apply your mascara, make sure you do drag upwards. Everything should be going upwards because that's going to give you a nice lift. Look at this. It's really nice and lifted. It doesn't look droopy. It doesn't look over exaggerated. It's not enhancing any lines and making me look older, whereas this side is. Don't go too thick with your eyeliner, such as this side, because it takes up more lid space and ends up actually making your eye area look small and just really doesn't enhance it. It can just make the overall eye area look heavy, like this side. And don't make the mistake of only using black. You can use browns. If anything, I would say browns are so flattering for aging skin because you're getting the definition without it looking so harsh. Don't match your old style of eyeliner. I know it's really like tempting because you've been so good at it and you were killing it and it was just looking so good on you. I don't doubt that at all. But as you get older and your elasticity decreases, everything changes, your eye shape changes, your skin is thinner, that technique isn't going to work on you. If anything, it's going to look worse. So don't do that. See, I hope you can see that eyeliner doesn't have to be so frustrating in your 40s. It really is a case of breaking it down and simplifying it a little bit, figuring out what formulas you should be using and where you should be applying it, what the technique is. I just feel like eyeliner, when done right, can like 100% uplift like your confidence in a sense, but also lift your features and define everything without it being overpowering. And hopefully you can see this. This has given me definition. It's not overpowering. It kind of blends in really nicely with my face. This side is overpowering. It's like shouting. It's like an alarm bell. It's like, look at me. And it's so heavy and it's drooping. It's not actually enhancing my eye shape at all. So yeah, hopefully you can see there's a huge difference there. And I really do hope you've enjoyed this today, and I'll see you on the next video.